Welcome back to the Nethercast, everyone. I am Cyborg, and joined, as always, by Temp, Razor, and Chad. Episode 90, we are almost to 100, and we are almost to the reveal, or the announcement, as one could assume, for Mortal Kombat 11. It is coming so soon, guys, within the next month. Usually it's early June, so we are getting so close. We have maybe 2 episodes left before it gets revealed, if that. It's coming soon. It's crazy. E3 is right around the corner. It's going to be super hype. I'm going to be joining Brusque and Ishii for that. We got PAX later this year. I don't even know what to do with myself. A year from now, we're already going to be playing the game, maybe. I can't approve that by any means. Speaking of not being able to prove, how's everybody doing?
I might be doing good. I might be doing poorly. But you can't prove either of those facts.
None of it's provable. None of it.
And you think that we might all be here playing this game next year, but one of us might be dead.
That is actually factually true. That is
might be responsible.
It's not even just a possibility; it's a high possibility. It's probable.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Razor, you've been voted off the island.
Every day you're challenging the odds.
I'm off my medication. Anything could happen.
Anything's possible. On a happier note, so what we're going to do today for the show is we are actually going to give our predictions for the MK11 reveal. So we're going to kind of roundtable this off, and we're each going to give 5 predictions on what we think is going to be shown off for the reveal, and that counts both any potential trailer we get ahead of E3, as well as what's shown at E3. So it can it's going to cover both of those. So of the 5, it might mention a little bit of A, a little bit of B, but that just kind of puts things into perspective. Temp, are you with us?
I am.
All right, he's with us, everyone. Temp is indeed in the house. All right,
I think this is actually the first time in quite a little bit of time that we've had all 4 of us together here.
3 weeks?
Maybe.
Something like that.
It's been a minute. All right, so let's go ahead and get to it. No time to waste. Let's just jump right into predictions. Temp, you started this bad boy. Why don't you throw one of yours down our throats right now?
Let's do it. My prediction for the Mortal Kombat reveal, likely at E3, is that Fujin will be revealed and he will be in the gameplay trailer. That is my prediction for at least for E3. He may not be in the CGI reveal, but if there is one, but he'll definitely be in the initial E3 presentation.
That is weirdly bold.
That's ballsy.
The confidence with which you say that.
See,
I acknowledge that I've been wrong before about Fujin multiple times throughout the life of this podcast, but I'm putting forth that I think Fujin will be revealed as an apology.
That's a lot of faith in admitting that they fucked up.
I mean, it's a win-win for me because if they don't reveal him, then I get to enjoy the rage storm. So for either way, I come out with money. So I'm good. But I don't think I'm wrong on this, to be fair, though. It is bold, and I mean, the not bold prediction was that he was an MKX, and we're all wrong. So this is definitely the bold prediction.
Yeah.
We'll see, though. But I don't think I'm wrong about this.
I mean, at this point, we either get to enjoy Fujin or we get to enjoy Schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude.
Is that how it's pronounced?
Yes, it is, Razor. It's pronounced Schadenfreude.
All right. Be piggy about it. I don't speak the language.
Not yet.
Neither do I, but achte Liebe, man. That was an easy one.
Actually, I do speak a little German.
Do you?
It's one of the languages I took in college. Well,
I took 2 years of
a couple
German in high
semesters
school.
ago.
I've got a German girlfriend. I picked shit up. Also, I listen to a lot of industrial music.
That helps
comes
too.
from there.
Yeah, most of the German I know is from Rammstein songs.
What is going on here?
Keiner macht für dich mehr, Cyborg.
Okay, fine. I'll throw out a prediction. Thank you for asking. Okay, so my number 1 prediction is actually in sync with Temp's, except for I didn't name a specific character because I wanted to at least have a chance of this actually coming true. I mean, Fujin. My number 1 is at least one 3D era character that we have not seen return yet, so not an MK9 or MKX, or playable, I should specify. So your Fujins, your Frost, your Li Mei, Serena, any of those types of characters, at least one of those will be shown off in the reveal, like the gameplay reveal. So it will be confirmed that one of those characters will at least be in the game. It may not seem that bold. It is actually bold because, I mean, they haven't had the best track record with these characters, and they usually only throw in maybe one. I mean, let's think about it. MK9 was Kenshi. Kenshi doesn't really count because he's actually pretty liked by them and included by most standards most often. And same with Quan. But MKX had Tanya and Bo Raicho. So, I mean, with only 2 making the game there, so it just kind of goes to show not very likely that these characters get in, but I sure hope they will, and I think they will establish that faith when they give the gameplay reveal. So I think they want to lay the groundwork right away, letting people know, hey, these characters will make it in this time. So that's my number 1 prediction to start us off as well. So we've got, for Temp, a Fujin reveal. For me, at least one 3D era character will be shown that hasn't been in the game so far. What do you got? Who's next?
I'll go. My number 5 prediction is playing it super safe. I predict that within a week before E3, they will release a purely cinematic trailer containing 2 characters fighting, and those characters will look rubbery.
And the people will complain.
Rubbery.
Because the game is now going to be terrible, and look at those textures, and my god, have they learned nothing?
No, people will be oddly complimentary.
Why wouldn't they be?
That's my prediction. The characters will look fucking rubbery, like the in-game graphics might actually be a little bit better than the cinematic trailer, but people will think it looks good anyway. Because that's what happened with MKX.
MKX trailer was sweet.
People will complain about the music. People will complain about the music. It'll have a real song, and people will not like it.
What's wrong with the MKX trailer?
Okay, that was like 5 predictions in one there.
My prediction is a description of the trailer.
All right.
It'll be rubbery, and people will hate the music.
That's 2 predictions.
You gotta explain rubbery to me. What was wrong with the MKX trailer?
Well,
You could watch it again, and then I wouldn't have to use words.
I did watch it again recently, like a couple days ago.
They're weirdly stretchy, and their skin texture is just kind of Mr. Fantastic.
Am I the only one who just did not give a shit about what the textures in the MKX
Yeah, what are you talking about? Are you the type of guy that looks at
mean,
and says
there
Sonic's
was-
legs are too long? What is going on here?
There was some
they animated. They were
Stop it.
bizarrely Stretch Armstrongy. They didn't have joints. They look weird, man. It's a weird
remember
trailer,
hearing
and the
someone complaining
MK9
about
trailer
this,
was
but-
weird in the exact same way. So I expect the MK11 trailer will be fucking weird.
Here's the thing.
I thought they were both really awesome.
If you saw an X-ray of Sonic the Hedgehog, his bones would be so thin in the leg area.
Stop it. Just knock it off.
Something.
Sonic doesn't have elbows, does he?
All right, so Razor's prediction is that he's not going to like the MK11 prize. All right, Chad, what do you got?
I didn't say that. I just said it'd be rubbery.
Well, since Razor, like,
I'm gonna give you
predicted
something that's
5
rubbery.
things- I'll wait.
Okay, just go.
No, give him the rubbery thing. I wanna hear
Okay,
this.
it's gonna
Put your mic up to it.
it's gonna
This is happening now.
it's gonna flop, and it's gonna have a thumping sound. Anyways,
Close up on a pair of lips being licked. Anyway, so because Razor like predicted 3 things in one, I'm
That
just
is
like
not
make
what
my
happened.
number 1 my
would-
number 5,
would you
which was
you
the
fuck
trailer
me?
will be set to an ill-fitting song that none of us will enjoy or appreciate because we're all fucking old.
I'd fuck me.
Now, I didn't know who the fuck Wiz Khalifa was when MKX dropped, and I still don't because I don't care because I'm too old.
So hard.
And whoever they choose to score this thing, it's going to be as utterly irrelevant as Wiz Khalifa was or Edema was back at Deadly Alliance. It's not going to fucking matter one whit.
Well, they had
To be
they
fair-
had Disturbed for NK9, and I like Disturbed, but that song was
What did they choose again?
it was Another Way to Die, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
fine. Like, I'm not complaining about the song. I'm just saying that people will, because
fair.
nobody like music is one of the most contentious subjects there is in the world.
To be fair, I thought the intro to the song was actually really awesome. The beanie, deenie, deenie, dee, like
Okay.
that was really hyped. Okay, it's only exactly. It had a really it gave me goosebumps. I remember that being a really awesome beginning. It was only once the rap started. Most people Maybe today's day associates rap with MK, but I think most of us, since we're
I
a little
kind of
older.
really hope not. Sorry.
No, that's what I'm saying. I unfortunately I think it is. I mean, that's just the fighting
Based
game.
on Wiz Khalifa?
Not Wiz Khalifa specifically. I just think that's like the new thing is it's
I think
more
that
about
people-
hip
It's not
hop.
associated with Mortal Kombat. It's
No.
just that kids
say
exclusively
that-
listen to rap in the current generation.
Yeah, hip hop is
Rap
like
or
the
party
new
music.
Sure, yeah. Hip hop is more
would-
of what's in currently, whereas I associate MK still with like techno and stuff like that. To me, that's more hype is just instrumentals.
I tend to associate MK with orchestral fare these days. Techno more so back in the 90s, but it's kind of gone into this genre neutral area. And I wouldn't say it's this way for every fighting game franchise. Guilty Gear is uniquely a metal and hard rock game, and if there was one franchise to carry the torch for rap, it's probably Street Fighter, just based entirely on the Third Strike soundtrack, which still endures to this day. And
Even Street Fighter 4 and Indestructible. So
Yeah, I kind of like Indestructible.
So
I-
Shad,
yeah, I
I'll
do
never
too.
understand. I'll
bringing
never
this back. So Shad, what was your prediction? You said that they're gonna hate the music.
The trailer, whatever it is, will be set to an ill-fitting song that none of us will enjoy or appreciate.
Okay,
That's my number 5.
gotcha. All right. Do we want to snake back around? Is that what we want to do? Shad, give us another one.
All right, so number 4 is that it will be a cinematic teaser trailer and nothing else. I don't think we're gonna get gameplay yet. I think we might get gameplay a couple months down the line, but they're gonna just wet our whistles and our peckers and our balls or whatever they'll have you.
Ooh, that is bold.
Yes.
Ooh, I definitely don't agree with that.
Yeah, I don't see that.
I think they're gonna make us wait a little bit. I think they're gonna just dangle the carrot in front of us and draw it out just
So let
a
me
little bit.
okay, let
Not
me
long.
let's just clarify what you're saying here. So you're
Yeah.
not only saying that the initial trailer, the one that they show usually a week before, that's cinematic.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying that E3 is only going to be cinematic stuff as well. It's not going to actually
I think
show
they're
gameplay.
gonna tease us, and I think that they're gonna maybe wait till PAX or whatever to give us gameplay.
Whoa, PAX is in September. You think they're going to wait that
Maybe.
long?
Well, maybe not quite that long, but I think they're just gonna start off by dipping our balls in it just a little bit. I
mean, that's
probably
bold.
And that's first week of August, though.
just tend to
What's
see
that?
more and more of like the Hollywood trailer model seeping its way into video game
Did you
teasers.
say
and trailers,
E3's
so-
first week of August?
Oh no, Evo's first week of August. So I feel like it's so
No,
likely we're
well,
gonna get gameplay reveal.
We'll probably have gameplay by Evo, but I don't think we're gonna get it right off the bat.
So you don't think we're going to
Right.
get any gameplay by E3, even though that they've shown their last 4 games by E3? You're saying this one's not going to.
Maybe that's
That's a bold statement. That's
Yeah,
a bold
What,
statement.
what
Yep.
brought you to that conclusion, Shadowloo? Why do you think this time they're gonna hold the carrot a little
They're going to
higher?
hold that.
just in what is in my perspective. Well, what is to my perspective trends in marketing in terms of video games.
Okay.
Like
I mean, that is a fair enough.
that's-
I mean,
All right.
they're becoming more and more events. You know, they'll start this off and like there'll be this bit of scenery or like someone talking in the darkness or what have you. Then like some shit will go down and then they'll get like the title of the game. It happened with like Last of Us 2. It happened with Red Dead Redemption 2. It's becoming more and more Hollywood affair, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen this time through. So that's me. That's where I'm standing.
I also think the release
I-
date maybe later.
I
for
would
this
like to be
game.
wrong, but I live to be cynical these days.
Did you say the release date would be later, Tim?
I mean, they won't reveal at E3, but I have a feeling this game's gonna come out later. I think this game's gonna be closer to June or July even.
Interesting. Okay. Razor, what's your next prediction?
My prediction is there will be a demo at E3, and it'll have in the ballpark of 6 characters.
Interesting as well. I would be surprised at that because I don't feel like.
They had 6 characters for X, and they had 8 characters when they revealed MK9.
No, so okay, you're saying a demo, not like a playable demo
Yeah,
for the
no, not-
public.
No, like just what they show.
Right, gotcha. Okay,
They might have Ed play it for Jeff Keighley or some
gotcha.
shit.
Yeah, like a journalist kit. Then.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Like they'll show
Yeah.
off gameplay, but yeah, okay. I was just clarifying just to make sure. So yeah, you're saying they'll show off some gameplay, like for a GameSpot exclusive or whatever. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. I think I'm next. My next one on my list is, I think, tag team is going to be shown off? Take a bold prediction and say tag team will be included, and tag team will be not the selling point. I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the game's gimmick, but at E3 or before, tag team will be something that's featured. Much like in the MK9 trailer, they showed off tag team. So
I want it, but I highly, highly doubt it.
Would be nice. Wouldn't be surprised if it's back. I think that they've been hearing us bitch for quite a few years now.
Temp?
I think in the realm of team play, tag team is super likely. As long as you don't have to bounce tag team mechanics in there, I feel like for now that the online's fixed, which I think is kind of what stopped them last time. They gave other reasons, and maybe they're all true, but I think with the horrible netcode, that kind of crushed any possibility of tag team before, and I feel like now that they've really got the GTPO stuff down, they're able to really get that. It's a stronger possibility than ever, and I really want a team dynamic online. I think they know we want that, so.
I don't want to get my hopes up is the thing.
Oh, that's what my list is all about. I'm all about raising our hopes.
Yeah, I'm not liking your list.
Which brings me to my number 4.
You're not as cynical as I am.
For my number 4, I wrote down colors ! So I think the game's going to be maybe not much brighter, but much more crisp and vivid. I feel like we're going to see a lot more of the color spectrum and less grays and muted shades and just diminished lighting. And
Nice.
I feel like even if there wasn't, I mean, to be honest with you, there wasn't really a backlash. It was like a gentleman's backlash, if we could say that. The trend with Boone is he never likes making the same game twice. And I don't think it was ever in the cards he's going to make a game that looks exactly like MKX. So I don't even feel like this is that bold. But it's possible that we may get, more night skies and more grays and browns. We'll see, though. I mean, the age of the Gears of War grit has, I feel like, finally come to an end. Even the new God of War is not dark and gritty. Not in that sense, at least.
Right.
So that's my prediction.
I think that's a safe, not really a safe prediction, but I think that's a fair prediction, a likely prediction.
Viable.
After playing MK9 again, especially, it's just night and day, quite literally, compared to MKX in terms of just the presentation, the color nature, the UI is all colorful, everything is just so colorful. It surprised me because it just made me think, hey, this is much more like an MK2, whereas the MKX is just it's just dark and white and very simplistic style, which is just, it is night and day in terms of how they are presented. So I hope they do evolve and try colorful again, just something new and fresh. All right, Temp, I think you got another one to set us back around.
Oh, shit, that's right. This one's a little bolder, but I still think it's very possible. My number 3 is no new characters in the reveal. Not saying there's no new characters in the game, but I don't think that's the angle they're going to take this time. I feel like, let me rephrase that. No brand new characters. I feel like there's a strong possibility they may include the like Kotal Khans and the like Frost and stuff like that. Those guys may come back. The Borite shows, but there will be no brand new characters that we've never seen before in the reveal.
Gotcha. Cool. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. I'm expecting maybe one new character just because they usually like to say, hey, this is a new game, who is that? Build up that mystery and give that character some, big stage appeal, because at E3, obviously they're going to have all eyes on them when they first reveal the game. So I think they want some of that with the new character just to build some of that hype and intrigue. But it's not completely impossible that they leave new characters out completely for the reveal, at least. My next one is my number 3, and I'm going to say the game's main gimmick. This is more of a safer prediction, but I feel like this is quite likely. The game's main gimmick will be featured in the initial reveal and or gameplay reveal, meaning we will know what this game's we'll know that what they're building this game on, what they're going to market it around. Like for Injustice, it was the gear system. For MKX, it was the variations. Thank you. So with E3 last time, they kind of showed those off and kind of gave a flavor of what that's all about. I think this time they're going to do the same exact thing. They're going to want people to think, this is a new game. It's not just a prettier version of our last game. They always want to. They never like to make the same game twice in that regard. So I'm guessing we will know the game's main gimmick, whether it goes in depth or not. We will have a good idea of what that is once they show off some gameplay. Even maybe in the cinematic trailer. Like I said, they drop hints and stuff at what they're building the game around. Like with the Injustice 2 cinematic trailer, is all about their gear and all of that. So I could definitely see us having a good idea of what they're marketing this game towards. And I think
my number 3 is a similar prediction. I think we will see a mechanic that lets you sort of choose your character's special moves, similar to Variations or Gear. I think it'll be more like Variations than Gear, but I think we will see something like that return or be introduced.
I hope not. Injustice 2 gave me a not very good impression of the idea of choosing your moves and unlocking your moves and making it so it's not in competitive play.
That's why I say it'll be more like Variations. It won't be exactly the same, I think, but the differences won't be severe. Like maybe it'll just be that there's 2 styles instead of 3, or maybe it'll be more tied to costumes somehow. Like if the game does have like a Crisis on Infinite Earthrealm sort of theme, maybe the gimmick is you can play old timeline Scorpion and he has fire powers, or you can play new timeline Scorpion and he's Hanzo with swords. You know, maybe something like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation about like Variations and what we think, whether they're gonna stick with them or they're gonna switch down to 2 or whatever. So
yeah, but I mean that's my prediction is we'll see something similar to the Variation system.
Gotcha. It won't be the Variation system. It's gonna be one based on. Just, yeah, okay, I think I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, Shad, you are up, sir.
I am just absolutely loving how everyone's going into depth with all these gameplay predictions and what they're going to show off and how much they're going to give us. And I'm just sitting here, fuck you all. We're getting a cinematic trailer. I love being cynical. It's fun. So my cinematic trailer prediction for third out of the remaining 3, I think we're going to get a focus on a bunch of characters, and I'm envisioning this thing actually kind of being very similar in nature to the PS2 era game trailers, the previews, the openings. As this is the last game of the current gen, or the current endpoint 5 gen. I'm thinking that they're going to wow us out of the gate by showing us a lot of the roster in terms of fighting. I'm not necessarily talking about like an Argus pyramid scene or what have you, but I do picture a lot of fighting going on. Like maybe switching scenes back and forth. We're going to see a lot of people at once. I don't think we're going to focus on like just Scorpion and Sub-Zero like we did last time. It's going to show us a lot of folks. That's all. That's my number 3. Safe in terms of what I'm predicting.
The MK9 trailer did have like it had Melina versus Jax, and I think.
Yeah, it cut back and forth between some gameplay. You saw Reptile in there and
Raiden and Shao Kahn. Yeah, it showed like several characters.
So I mean, we could still like get a bunch of gameplay. And I could be wrong about my prior point, and we could see a bunch. But yeah, that's what I'm aiming for. I think we're gonna get a lot of people visible.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't the Armageddon reveal the opening cutscene? Isn't that the first thing they ever showed us?
Yeah, pretty much. That was it.
Yeah,
I think that's what they did for Deception too.
Well, I remember Deception's reveal was that cinematic trailer of Baraka versus Melina.
Yeah, you're right. Never mind that. I'm wrong.
Although there was gameplay in that trailer, because I remember when it flashed to Ermac and everyone freaked out.
Yeah.
Everyone being me in my computer room.
In the MK9 one,
and the stage fatalities.
Oh yeah, there was Sub-Zero kicking somebody into the grinder.
And people lost their shit because of that. People being me and my friends, basically.
Razor, I think the MK9 trailer, because I think you're mixing the MK9 one up with another MK9 one, but that came later, like that. The Disturbed one wasn't the original one that they started with. They originally started with Shao Kahn vs. Raiden cinematic, and then it would cut into gameplay. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah, you're right. They did. Well, they did like They did 2 versions of the Disturbed one because
Right.
there was a version with more Shao Kahn versus Raiden footage.
You're right. I only know this just because when I did my last video, I actually researched those and remember seeing that Shao Kahn and Raiden stuff got spliced into, like they expanded on that with the Melina versus Jax and the stuff you're referring to. But yeah, that came a little later. But yeah, the initial one was just the Shao Kahn Raiden, then it went into all the gameplay.
You're right. It was just the 2 of them like staring at each other in the arena. And
they run at each other, and then that was it. But so yeah, it'll be interesting. With MKX, obviously we just got the cinematic. We didn't get gameplay until E3. Injustice 2, I think, was the same. It was
they released the cinematic right before E3 with like Batman, Superman, Flash, and Supergirl in the fucking parking lot.
Except for they showed off gameplay before then. Somebody said at ESL. Has that happened before E3?
I don't remember that happening.
No, I think I know the gameplay reveal was after. I think it was just same old, same old. The gameplay reveal was at E3.
I kind of recall some gameplay.
I distinctly reveal
showing up in like European magazines for MKX.
I distinctly reveal the very first thing I ever saw about Injustice 2 was that cinematic trailer where they're all walking out of the darkness and like the armor forms on them like an Iron Man suit.
Right.
Atrocitus was revealed in an article. We didn't see Atrocitus until he was revealed before we even saw him.
Because the initial reveal for Injustice 2 was that poster, and then it was as Razor was saying, they were all fighting in the pit or whatever, and they were.
It's clearly a parking garage.
Yeah, parking garage. I call it the pit because that's what they call it in the thing. But you're right, it's a parking garage, and they're all doing the gear stuff where their gear changes throughout the fight. But yeah, they didn't show any gameplay during that. I'm pretty sure gameplay. I'm looking back through our videos because we did a reaction for when it initially. Let's see, Injustice 2 trailer analysis.
I think the pattern has been pretty consistent. They'll reveal the cinematic right before E3, and then at E3 they'll have...
Actually, it looks like gameplay did come before E3. It came... I'm guessing it came at ESL. That's what somebody was saying in one of our comments, I think. Injustice 2?
I don't believe so.
Because we put out a video. We put out a video here. Let me click on this and try and stop the audio. Here we go.
It's very possible.
So it was on June 11th, 2016. We did a gameplay reveal reaction. Pro League, yeah, MKX Pro League.
Interesting.
They showed it. They showed it during the must have been during the MKX tournament. They showed it at the end or something. On June 11th, 2016.
I mean, that's basically, that's so close to E3.
No, I think it was the weekend before. So E3 2016 started on June 14th. So yeah, we had to have. So yeah, we got the gameplay reveal there instead of, because I think it had Supergirl and all that, and we were kind of breaking it down. Because E3, came a few days later. So, but point is, they did show gameplay before E3 that time, even if it was just a few days before. So that's possible with MK11. We have a similar approach. If ESL's during that weekend, I don't know. I don't know the schedule, but anyways, so that was Razors, right? Or Shads.
I was before that, yes.
Yes.
So if Shad, you just went, right? I'm confused.
I think that Razor just went.
Okay.
I think that was everybody's number 3. Did everybody do their number 3?
I think so.
I have 2 left.
Except for Shad.
No, that was number 3.
Razor, what was your prediction? Catching up to scene. I'm confused.
It was the gimmick, right?
My prediction was something like variations. Yeah. Shad's prediction was what we were just talking about.
Which was what?
A large amount of characters?
Large amount of characters. Okay, the trailer. You were predicting no gameplay was your previous one, and then this one was all about it's going to be a huge trailer with a bunch of characters. Gotcha. Okay.
Music no one will like.
I'm caught up. So Shad, go ahead and snake us back around.
All right, so my number 2 is, out of any character to be focused on during this thing, it's going to be Raiden. Raiden is, as usual, going to be our eye into what's going on, what's happening. Probably going to be seeing Liu Kang, Katana doing a lot of terrible shit, but I think he's going to be our eagle eye. I think we might, I don't know, maybe even CMP corrupted into Dark Raiden, like Razor so desperately wants, and I think actually signs are actually kind of pointing to.
I mean, he already is Dark Raiden.
He already went there.
Well, it might get worse. It might get worse. Did he have the red eyes at the end?
They're yellow now.
Okay.
He's almost there. He's
He has a
halfway
lot of
there.
red clothes, though.
He has to slow down. That's
So,
Yeah.
maybe they'll recap that to like let the audience know or remind the audience why Raiden is all grr and wearing black and angry again. So,
So you think it'll be like a
That's-
recap and then
my
leading
number
into
two,
what's
yeah.
next? That'd be
yeah,
interesting.
pretty much.
I mean, for all we know, I mean, even though I don't necessarily disagree with Shadaloo, there is always the possibility that the next game may start with the Raiden saga ending. Like the intro to Mortal Kombat 11 might be them fighting Raiden, and Raiden turns into his final form, which is a spider creature, and then they defeat him with a magic staff or some bullshit like that.
Best animality.
So it's hard to say. I think we'll definitely see the Dark Raiden in some respect.
It would
I
be
don't know
funny.
The lens.
I'll swing back around to you with that, but that doesn't preclude my number one prediction, which is we'll get there. But
Interesting. Okay.
I wouldn't say that you're wrong. That's possible.
It would be funny if MK11 is 25 years into the future. After we just jumped 25 years, we're going to jump another 25, and we'll learn what happened to Raiden in the flashbacks.
Scene opens. Close up. Gravestone that says Cage. He died of natural causes.
Off screen. Yes.
Somehow.
All right, so Razor, you are up, sir. You're number 2, I believe.
All right. My number 2 prediction is we will see Sub-Zero, and I will not like his primary costume.
I like how all of your picks, almost all of your
Now
picks,
that's safe.
almost all of,
That is super fucking safe.
almost all of yours are like, this is gonna happen, and someone's not gonna like it.
It's good.
Well, they don't have a lot of faith in him. I don't know if you've ever noticed this.
No, it's quite clear. It's hard not to notice. I've tried not to. Okay, so
I'm trying to set up ones where if I'm wrong, then I'll be happy.
all right. Okay, so you're not gonna like Sub-Zero's outfit in the trailer. That's a shame.
Yeah.
His MKX one grew on me. I wasn't a big fan at first, but I liked it after I faced Temp a million times.
It
I
never
actually
got over with me. I just do not understand why he's covered in knives.
I do agree I don't like the knives, but everything else has grown on me.
Well, it's not
Massive
just his
problem.
primary. I thought his secondary, the one that Django always used, looked really good. I thought that one looked really good, and he used the alternate color where it was like very whitish. It looked good.
Yeah, no, all of
The
Sub-Zero's
Revenant
ultimate
one.
costumes are great. I just don't like his primary.
Well, I mean, at least there's some good ones, right? Okay, I am next. My number 2 is I'm predicting in the original reveal, either Sub-Zero or Scorpion's going to be left out of it, meaning one will not be included this time. I don't think it's just going to be... Another way of saying this is I don't think it's just going to solely feature Sub-Zero and Scorpion, even though those are their golden boys. I think this time they're going to feature other character or other characters, meaning I don't think it will just be Sub and Scorp.
It's possible the versus DC reveal was only Batman and Sub-Zero.
Yeah, it has historical precedence.
It is, and I
They
think
do like to keep things kind of unpredictable a little bit. There's always some aspect that shakes things up just a little bit.
and even in MK9, were both of them featured in the initial trailer? I don't think either were.
I think,
Scorpion was not, but he did show up at E3.
Okay.
yeah.
So I'm predicting,
wait.
I guess I should clarify. I'm thinking one of them will be left out of both the cinematic trailer and the gameplay. Like, I feel like they're going to hold off on one of them. So
I'm
that's
trying to remember
bold, but yeah, I
who
don't
was
know.
in the MK9 reveal, because I remember it had like Melina, Sector, and Nightwolf.
Reptile
Yeah.
was up there too.
Reptile.
I wanna say Sub-Zero was there, but not Scorpion.
I think so.
I might be wrong.
I'm just gonna go and watch it while muted.
Johnny Cage was there.
Yeah, I
Pretty
think
sure.
Johnny was there, maybe. We'll find out from Shad. He'll be our reporter on the field, our correspondent. But yeah, so that's my prediction, is that both Sub-Zero and Scorpion won't be, like, one of them won't be revealed in the initial reveals. I feel like they're going to save one of them for hype, which they'll fill that gap with fan-demanded characters, so we'll get there, though.
And
Anyways.
you got Johnny beating on Reptile, and there's Reptile beating on Nightwolf, and there's Melina beating on Sub, so there's a Sub for you.
Okay.
There's
Yeah.
Kung Lao, and there's Kung Lao beating on Reptile, and hey, some nice trees, and there's Shao Kahn, there's Sector, And that's not seeing any new characters. And there's Johnny getting stabbed. Big surprise.
All right.
We're new here.
Well, while you do that, we're gonna take one. We're gonna take one listener live question. It looks like Tomas asked us a question. Are you taking live questions tonight? No. So there's our one question answered. Just kidding, buddy. Thanks. You can ask us a question. We'll try and get to it. I think we'll have time for at least one if you want to ask us one.
So yeah, it's done. No Scorpion.
No Scorpion. Okay, so it's not a completely outrageous bold prediction, but I feel like Sub-Zero and Scorpion now more than ever are like even more pushed to be their central figures, so I feel like it's less likely to happen now than it was back then. But still not the most unlikely thing, but yeah, that's my prediction is they're going to hold off on Sub or Scorp, not only the initial trailer, but also gameplay. I think they're going to hold off on one of the two for at least a few months. So anyways, that's my prediction. Temp, you're number 2, sir.
All right, for my number 2, this kind of goes back to the idea that I never feel like Ed Boon wants to make the same game twice. So my prediction is in Mortal Kombat 11, there will be no returning beards, only new beards. I don't expect that we're going to see the beards for Kenshi or Sub-Zero. Nightwolf might get a beard, that's possible. They may call him Nightbeard, I don't know. But I don't think there's going to be...
I thought Native Americans have trouble growing facial hair.
Well, you gotta break the chains, Razor. You gotta break the mold. Beard wolf.
Well, wait, yeah, beard wolf. It should...
Beard. I don't know. I'm excited either way. I feel like they overdid it with the whole like beards and the whole like bearded Dilf thing. I think was way overdone in MKX. It should have been like one character, maybe 2, but like. All the male characters look the same to me. They all fucking look the same.
I got some bad news for you, Tet, man. People are digging Dad Kratos.
I know.
I don't think the dad craze has gone away anytime. It has gone on or is going away anytime soon.
My advice for you would be to close your heart to it, boy.
It's so bad for aesthetic diversity. And honestly, like, I think Sub-Zero looked better with a mask in the comic. I like his alternate better with the mask. So.
Yeah. You're welcome your opinion, but I prefer the beard.
What if Sindel grew a beard? What if Serena grew a beard?
She'd be able to control it.
Yeah. That would be tight. Fucking Santa beard and Sindel, that'd be sick. Stabbing people with a ZZ Top beard. I don't know. I don't mind beard Sindel. I love all my characters despite what they look like, but I definitely have preferences. So that's my number 2. And I do take that seriously because I really don't. I want as little MKX in this game as possible. So that's kind of my starting point. Let's start with the beards, work our way to the 50-50s. That's my philosophy right now. Yeah, you got to start somewhere. And I believe we're snaking, right? So this is my number 1?
Yes.
Okay, my number 1, I was going to preface it first, but I'll explain it afterwards instead. My prediction is that I will absolutely love the trailer, and I'm going to be hella hyped for this game. And we got to kind of explain the previous 2 reveals to say why I came to that conclusion. MK9, I was incredibly hyped. I can't forget how shocked I was when I saw Nightwolf because everyone thought it was going to be a reboot, and they were right. But when I pictured a reboot, it was nothing like what they showed.
You're going to robot.
Okay, can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so, I mean, when I saw the MK9 reveal, I was just...
Oh my god, the cybernetic process is taking over. Just kidding, you're good.
No, I couldn't believe how much it looked like Mortal Kombat. I was just overwhelmed with how awesome that was. The other problems emerged later, but we won't talk about that. With MKX, I saw the gameplay reveal and all the new characters. I was thinking... I don't want to say it was neutral. I was more conflicted. I was thinking... I just kept watching the trailer over and over again thinking... It just depends on the roster. This could be really good or really bad. I just don't know. The roster will make or break how I feel about this game. And fast forward now, I mean, I don't really think that's an option anymore. I feel like they can't do MKX again. So, I feel like when we look at Injustice 2, they addressed the problem with the walk speed almost instantly. And the backlash against the walk speed in Injustice 1 does not even compare to the backlash against the 50/50s in MKX and Fuja not being playable. Like, the backlash is just insurmountable in comparison. And yet, they fixed that smaller complaint with Injustice 1. So the pattern of them fixing problems is very historical at this point. So I have a lot of high hopes for this game. I could be wrong. I could fucking hate it, but I don't think I will. I think I'm really gonna like at least the E3 reveal. It's hard to say whether you're gonna like a cinematic or not, because they're not always terribly informative, or if they are informative, they're ambiguous. But I think by the time everything's done at E3, I'm gonna be very happy with this game. That's my prediction.
All right. My number one is that Temp is going to love what he sees in the reveal. I'm just kidding. No, it's actually that the gameplay is actually going to return to 3D.
Really?
Wow.
Well, what?
Look, let me explain. With Tekken 7... I'm just fucking kidding.
Okay, I was about to say, like, that is bold. Like, do we owe you money if you're right? Like, what happens?
Just like, no.
No,
Is this the wrong competition? It's wrong.
Like, if it did happen, I'm like, fuck. Let me pull up my PayPal. Like, yeah, that'd be crazy. Like, that is some high wager shit, man. Yeah.
No, my number one is I guess it's not a super bold prediction, but I was trying to think of what just something different, I guess, just something that's not necessarily a guarantee, I guess, and that is that 8 characters will be shown off in gameplay at E3. I don't remember how I think they showed off, 6 for...
Yeah, they showed 6
MKX?
for X and 8 for 9.
Okay, so I'm thinking they'll do 8 at this year's E3, and the reasoning for is we're going to have a larger overall roster. I'm expecting 30, 32 characters out of the get-go, so I think by that, the reason for that being... Since they are having a larger roster, we're going to have more characters showing off at E3. And by doing so, by having 8 characters, it allows them to make more people happy, essentially. With those 8 characters, I expect... I mean, I could go into more predictions, like further inception this shit by going more levels down of... I think they're going to show off, like my first prediction that I said was... They're going to show off a 3D era character that wasn't in X or 9. They're going to show off a new character. They're going to show off a returning classic character that wasn't in X. They're going to show off some new characters that were introduced in X. And they're going to show off other characters just to fill in that as well. So I think they're going to cover the gamut, I guess is what I'm going with here. I think they're going to try and give something for everyone in that initial gameplay reveal to make all fans happy. Because there are definitely people that like the new characters in X that are worried that some of them will not return, like a Kotal Khan or Aaron Black. Maybe they're just going to drop off the face of the earth like has happened in the past. So I think they're going to make them happy. They're going to make the ones that want the 3D era characters to return that haven't been returned yet. So they're going to make them happy. They're going to make the people that missed out on, like, Noob Saibot or Shang Tsung, one of those, or Cyrax or Sector, one of those. They're going to make one of them, they're going to make them happy. So I think with the gameplay revealed, the characters revealed for the gameplay at E3, I expect 8 characters and I expect something for everyone. That's my prediction there.
I agree with the 8. I think the number 8 is the right number for the number of characters at E3. I definitely agree with that. The roster stuff, I mean, we've talked about this. I'm still undecided. I hope, but I think 8 is a very plausible number. I don't think it'll be 6 this time.
Yeah, I think that's pretty optimistic.
Well, Sammy...
The whole thing. I have a feeling that I don't think they're going into it with the mindset of we need to please people and win them back over, because their past 4 games have actually been really successful.
They could melt down all the gold they've got and swim in it if they wanted to.
Look,
yeah, basically.
I was just as jaded as anyone else coming out of MKX's roster. Believe me, you can go back through our archive and see how disappointed I was with what we ultimately got. I liked the gameplay, did not like the roster. But however, Injustice 2 was a whole different story. I felt like they preached that they were listening to fan-demanded characters. They didn't just preach it, they delivered it from the get-go. They showed characters that people asked for that people didn't think actually had a shot, like Grodd and Atrocitus, characters like that. And then they included the characters like Fate and Captain Cold and so on and so forth. I mean, you can keep going, Red Hood, Starfire, etc. They listened to fans.
I just don't think they have the towards making an MK game that they have towards making an Injustice game.
We don't know. I mean, yes, we have experience to go off of, so you're not completely. Obviously, you have the stance you're taking is definitely routed in backed by facts and history, of course. But I think with Injustice 2, I don't see that as just an injustice side of like that wasn't just a right turn with the Injustice franchise. I think we're going to see that with MK11. I could be wrong, and we'll know right away, at least right out of the reveal. If we get the same old with the reveal, that's going to be saying something. But I think they want to lay the groundwork to make people happy. They want to make as many people happy right out of the gate like they did with Injustice 2. I think it's a smart marketing strategy. And yeah, their games have been very successful, and they can just keep staying the course and still be successful. They don't have to give in to fan demands and desires. But I think with MK11, they're going to set the ship correctly. They're going to lay that foundation and right out of the gate make people have faith. So I'm hoping I'm right.
I'm going to get a boring-ass
also-
modder and suggest that they'll actually take a little bit of the lessons that they learned from Injustice 2 to heart and surprise us with a bunch of characters that we don't expect to see. Like I said, I think we're going to get a bunch of people, a lot of people. But I expect to see a lot of favorite mainstays.
I look at the Injustice 2 roster, and I don't see, like, unexpected. What I see is them going, we don't own the DC Universe. This is for the fans of the DC Universe. Who are their favorite characters?
I really don't think
When they
anyone in
make
the world saw Swamp Thing coming, dude.
I think Swamp Thing is honestly like a really popular like. The thing about DC is that it's not Marvel. Like it doesn't have like an obvious
Here's the
for
thing.
who the most populars are. Like the most populars are like obviously Batman and Superman, and then it's like, and also John Constantine and Harley Quinn.
Here's
it's
the
like,
thing though. With with Injustice 2, following Injustice 1, they ran polls asking the fans who do they want as DLC in like Injustice 1. The characters that didn't make it as DLC that ranked really high up in that poll came in Injustice 2.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, because they listen to who the fans' most favorite DC characters are, because that's what Injustice is. It's for DC fans. When they make a Mortal Kombat game, they decide the roster based on who their favorite characters are because they own Mortal Kombat.
I'm not saying that hasn't been the case in the past. I'm saying with MK11, and where I was going with what I was saying just a second ago, is they did the same with polls for MK, like the combat packs, and for Mortal Kombat 11. They asked fans, do you want to see Rain in Mortal Kombat 11? Do you want to see, they asked which characters in which characters in MK9 that were missing from MKX did you miss most? And Noob Saibot won that poll, and Jade won her poll. Like, they clearly are gauging fan interest for a reason. Just because they didn't make it in that particular game doesn't mean that they weren't setting them up to make sure that they're in the next game.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They had polls like that for MK9 as well, and they didn't listen to them.
Which ones?
The ones where Ed would go on Twitter like, hey, who should we have for DLC? And like Tanya and Fujin would be on the list.
Tanya was in MKX, though.
Yeah, but she wasn't in MK9, and they were asking about MK9 DLC.
But that's my point
Kenshi was on the list, right? Wasn't Kenshi number 1?
Probably. But my point is, like, they ask, and yes, they don't come in the game that they're maybe potentially polling about, but that's because maybe they had alternative plans, but they've shown in history, between Injustice 1 and MK9 going to their sequels, they've shown in history that those fan polls, the ones that they didn't use last time, those fan polls still show you the results that they ended up using in the next game. I think we're going to see that with MK11, with those that were still left on the table in MKX. Like I said, the Noob Saibot, the Jades, the Fujins, all the characters that people were really hyped about and asking for, like, nonstop, I think they purposely left them out to bring them into MK11 and make it even more hype. I think they're going to deliver on that, and I think Injustice 2 was the start of that. You got your Red Hoods, you got your Starfires, you got all the characters that people were asking for. Captain Cold, Grodd, all the characters that people were making a big fuss about. Black Manta. I mean, And you may see it as two completely separate franchises, and they are, but I think they learned their lesson. I think they are going to deliver an MK11. With MKX, I think they had a story they wanted to tell with the 25 years later and bringing in the new kids and the whole new cast and introducing a whole bunch of new characters. I think they're going to have a larger roster in MK11 to deal with, which means more spots for those characters. And I think the story that they're going to be telling lends itself to more of those 3D era characters that people were asking for. So on and so forth. I don't know. This is my prediction. I could be totally wrong, but I'm expecting 8 characters, or not expecting, but I'm predicting 8 characters. And even if the 8 characters doesn't become right, I think they still want to set the best foundation possible. And those 8 characters, or 6 characters, whatever they end up going with, they're going to make count to try and appeal to everyone. We will see soon if I am wrong.
All right, we will see.
If they reveal Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Cassie Cage, Sonya, Jax, and all those characters that we've used to seeing so many times, and those are what they're leading their best foot forward with, then I will concede that my optimism was misplaced.
I mean, if they reveal, let's say those are the only characters they reveal. If they had the reveal trailer and it's just Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Cassie, Jax, and Sonya, I'll quit the show. I'm done. Wow. I am so tired. I'm joking, obviously, but I'm so fucking tired of Sonya. And I never liked Cassie. Jax is cool.
Yeah, all right.
You know,
that's a new recent thing.
It's a good thing that we're not going to want to go into packs together, because I swear to God, man. If I get your number and we're wandering around town together and we get split up, I'm texting you every 5 minutes. It's combat time. It's combat time.
You can still do that. That is still a possibility.
Maybe we should meet up at 11:30 around the main pavilion. It's statistically wise to combat time.
That would really make my workday go better if I just get text saying it's combat time. You know, that might be the...
If Sonya yelled combat time during an X-ray, you'd play the shit out of her. Don't lie.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I have to think about that.
Doing that moment, but it can't make me play her.
I do think she needs to take a break, but I can't hate her. I can't.
Razor, what do you got?
All right, so my number 1 prediction is that we will see either 1 or 2 new characters revealed at E3. And when I say new characters, the Dream Lady counts.
I will only agree on the Dream Lady. I don't think we're going to see a new character. I think there are new characters in the game. I don't feel like they're going to show for E3. But the Dream Lady, I can see the Dream Lady being one of the new characters. That makes sense. I don't see there being I don't know. It would be hard to conceive what they'd be going for with a new character, because I don't think there's going to be as many new characters in this game. But
yeah, I'm not saying there will be a lot of new characters. I just think they will be revealed. Like, they'll reveal at least 2. Like, I think they'll show the Dream Lady in, like, the CGI trailer in some way, like as an ominous face in the clouds or something like that. You know, just this is maybe the villain. And then we might actually see a new character in the demo who's, like, a regular playable character.
Okay, but we're not going to be seeing, like, I don't know, like crowbar combos with the Green Lady or stuff like that. Like,
no.
I think we could see a couple of new characters in the trailer that I'm still predicting isn't the only thing that we get, but that's all I'm prepared to give.
All right. And Shad, you're number 1, sir.
So, in these very cinematic video game trailery times, there is a common theme that runs forward in MK trailers, and it's, you get a fight scene. You get a fight scene between Scorpion and Sub-Zero. You get a fight scene between Shao Kahn and Raiden. You get a fight scene between Baraka and Mileena. And it is actually comparatively rare that you see someone die. In my head, like, there's been Liu Kang, and we had Quan Chi, technically, I guess, although he kind of warped. Shang Tsung technically died in the Deception Explosion, so it's been a while.
Okay.
So I think
Quan Chi canonically dies in that opening.
Canonically, kinda.
It looks like he's starting to run away. People thought he running into a portal. There's no portal there. He dies.
Oh boy. But yeah, that's my number 1 prediction. I think that we're actually going to see someone get murdered, possibly in a PG-13 way, because there's still, even in 2018, some restrictions on what you can and can't show to the public. But it would not surprise me to just have them try to make everyone's jaw drop by, I don't know, blowing one of the kids' heads off, or like we were saying earlier, Temp, they might show us the end of the Dark Raiden section by killing that guy and pissing Razor off to high hell. So that's my prediction. I think that someone is going to die in this trailer in a spectacular fashion, and it's going to just shock the shit out of everyone.
You think the cinematic trailer will reveal a canon story death?
Possibly, yeah.
Huh.
They've done it before.
I'd laugh if Onaga shows up and then just dies.
It's been an entire era since they showed us a trailer that was story.
That's what I mean. Like, for all that the 3D games kind of got wrong, those trailers did a really, really good job of hyping you up for the story and the plot and setting up the dominoes to fall. Because each of those trailers felt like big shit was happening. And coming at the end of this gen of MK games, there's no better time for big shit to be happening. So yeah, I believe we are going to see someone die horribly.
I would be very surprised if we saw story content in the E3 reveal.
Yeah, usually they hold that pretty close to their vest or close to the chest for. Usually they don't. I mean, they didn't even talk about the MKX story, like go in depth with it for.
No, they just said that it'll have like the present will have the combat kids, and then there will be flashbacks.
Yeah, well,
I know I'm coming at this from a very, very different angle than most of you guys are, but that's. I just have this premonition that this, whatever trailer this is going to be really, really reminiscent of the 3D era trailers. That's all.
Well, I'm glad about that, though. I'm glad our predictions are conflicting, because that guarantees at least some of us are going to be right. And I think that's interesting to me, at least. I like that.
I think the boldest, Shad, you definitely won points for boldness, because pretty much all the chips on just purely a trailer and no gameplay. I would be shocked on that.
That's me being A, really fucking cynical, and B, I have not slept much in the past like 24 hours. So I might be totally off base, but that's just the way that I see things happening at E3. I think they're just gonna like tickle our balls with a feather and run away.
What?
And then a little while later we'll get something official. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like a lot of cynicism is based on
if you look
the
at history,
historical events,
wrong.
But yeah, the
absolutely.
Last 4 games definitely they've shown gameplay, so I think I would be surprised if you're right, but like I said, I'm with Temp. I like that we're all coming from different angles.
You asked us all to make like predictions. You didn't specify whether or not I believed in them.
That's kind of all right.
Well played.
So
well played.
Before we wrap things up here, I did say we'd answer one question from Thomas, 97 here. He says, "What guys thinks of?" I'm guessing he meant, "What do you guys think of a legit?"
What do you guys think of a legit MK TV show?
Right.
Would you prefer it to be taking place in the old reboot or brand new timeline that ties into the idea of Crisis on Infinite Earth realms?
Razor, go ahead.
There will never be one. They are not in the business of making adaptations right now. They're just not. But if there were to be one, it would definitely create its own canon, the way that every other TV show they've ever done has. And I would like that canon to be similar to the old timeline. Like, here's the thing, you can't really make an adaptation of MK9 because the plot only works if you already know all the previous games. Like, MK9 is not filmable. So you have to, when you make a TV show of something, you have to introduce it to a new audience as if they've never heard of it before. So they'd have to retell the MK1 tournament, and they couldn't really talk about time travel because it would make it too complex and confusing. They would just have to straight do the tournament. And I would hope that if this were ever to be a thing, that they'd have the budget to do it right, and that they'd actually make it look like the games. But I have no faith that it'll ever happen.
I would prefer it to be an adaptation of the original series of games, perhaps taking a bit of a cue here and there from things we've learned in more recent times. But Razor is right that it would probably be its own thing entirely. They'd probably do what they did with Ninja Turtles 2012 Nickelodeon. They take the aspects of it that really, really worked and put spins on it.
Yeah, you'd see like a tournament, and Liu Kang would be there, and Raiden would be there, and Shang Tsung and Goro would be there, but also it would be like, hey, Kenshi's at MK1 in our version, because we like Kenshi.
It would be kind of a bastardization of everything up to this point. They like to keep their tie-in media current.
There's also a real habit with adapting Mortal Kombat where they don't give people their powers unless they're like a villain from Outworld, or like you can't do Sub-Zero without ice, but they always like don't give Johnny Cage his shadow moves when they adapt stuff.
Or his green balls.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Or like if they do give him the shadows,
Did you hear balls and then your
like
ears pricked up?
Yes. It's like a dog.
yeah, because it's just like in the MK95 movie, where if you're from Earthrealm and you're on the good guy's side, they portray you as a normal human who has to overcome all the scary magic people. And it's like when Johnny does do the shadow kick, the only reason that effect happens is because he's being sucked into a portal, and it's just like an Easter egg that it looks that way. So that's the kind of thing that I would expect them to continue to do in future adaptations.
There's this idea that magical powers are something silly and only crazy Outworldians would have them. That's, I think, the problem that needs to be overcome.
God,
and we're still not quite there yet.
I still fucking hate the fact that they felt the need to go and explain Cage's backstory. I was fine with the shadow kicks when it was just him going really fast and outpacing his own shadow. Ugh. Not everything needs to be explained. Not everything.
At least not that explanation. I liked it better when he just like figured out he had powers. It's like, oh cool, I can throw fireballs. I was fine with that. That was cool.
I kinda like parts of the explanation because Johnny's special effects are special in that he shares them with Nightwolf and Shao Kahn. So like if you have a character like Li Mei who just like, or Cobra whose moves are just chi, I don't need an origin story. But if the visuals on your superpowers are like unique or similar to other characters who have a backstory that's weird, then you also need to be explained, I feel like. So I like that we know why Johnny has shadows, because like green shadows is the souls of your ancestors or souls you stole. Like that's the source of that power, and green shadows mean something visually.
Here's my problem with that, though. Once you introduce that story element, I feel like it sort of treads on the ground that Johnny Cage is an actor with magical powers, and I don't want to lose that archetype. And I feel like a lot of Johnny Cage is gone with MKX.
Well, that's sort of the thing, though, is like we haven't lost that Johnny is an actor with magic powers, because you're still being introduced to him as a guy who's like, the whole reason he went to the tournament was like nobody believes that his powers are powers. They think he's relying too much on CGI and stunt doubles and weird, like he's trying to prove to people that no, really, I have superpowers. This is a real thing.
Didn't that just start as a movie thing though?
Now he's just a dad with like ancestry. Like,
well, yeah, no, but you also have to realize that when Johnny's a dad, it's like New York was invaded by monsters 20 years ago. You can't pretend magic isn't real anymore. After MK3, you have to, the world has changed. It's like, oh, aliens attacked in Avengers, so every sequel to Avengers 1 has to acknowledge that, like, superheroes can't be hidden anymore.
Yeah, I don't know that I disagree. I just don't think it's as interesting. Johnny being just like this normal dude with powers now and working for the military, it's just not as interesting.
Well, I don't like Johnny. I don't like Johnny working for the special forces the way he is now. Like, I wish he was still making movies, or that he had like whatever his new role is in his old age. I would prefer it to be more similar to classic Johnny.
Agreed.
No, he's going to be like governor of California or something. But
that would be awesome. That would be hilarious if they take that route.
That would be kind of funny. I really liked in the old timeline that he went and made movies based on a true story, Mortal Kombat movies. Like, that was super interesting to me.
What the hell are we talking about? This is not relating to the question anymore. Thank you, Thomas, for asking the question. Look forward to the Johnny Cage retrospective on The Lost at some point, where you can hear
have
that
plenty to say.
discussion in much more
Yeah.
in depth. That's gonna do
Yeah.
it for this episode. We've got at least maybe two more episodes before the reveal. We don't know. Probably 2. We'll have to see. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Check out the Discord if you haven't already. It's in the description. Completely free. It's a little community we have going on. If you're not familiar with Discord, it works a lot like Skype. It's kind of like a chat room mixed with a forum board. So come check out the community if you haven't already. And check out the videos, the other podcasts, all that good stuff up on the YouTube. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you guys next time.
We heart you, test your might. Have a good one, folks.
Peace.
Before we sign off, I just want to say, watch Cobra Kai. It's fucking great.
And don't forget to sweep the leg. Take care, everybody.